Okay, so I'll use this publication here as an example. And so what we have is a format for the publication, and what I've done is I've got some buttons which you'll note are in a consistent location throughout. So what I've been able to do is use the master page. So you've all done your InDesign sufficiently to know about the importance of master pages. And the other thing that is worth doing in master pages is the creation of a grid. Okay, and so we spoke about this last week. There's two ways of doing this. Firstly, with the margins themselves. Come through. Now, I'm using 6 as a magic number on this, but you can sort of work out what works best. Now, I imagine some people will be doing portrait format. Some have asked to do landscape. I'm happy for you to do either, but what you need to think about, so what works for this landscape is the idea that we can have a grid which can be divided into 2 as well as it can be divided into 3. Okay, 8, 12 is actually the magic number with regard to grids. Now, with this, what we've got, let's just put a, okay, so work out what the margins are. So 48, that's the one that I've got for that. Okay, and then that way, so I'm just going to work with 6. So I've got the 3 columns as well as having a 6th column as well, but you'll need to work out what you're using there. So the layout margins and columns is the way to create the actual columns themselves. To create rows, go into the layout create guides, and here what you can do is you can create some rows, also known as hang lines there. And so use those for horizontal alignment, say between the top of an image and the top of a heading or something like that. Okay, it really does help. So think about what you're using there. Now, by putting these into the master page, then every page which is under the control of that master will actually have those guides. So you don't have to create them for each page. So very, very helpful there. Okay. Also very, very important, and I'll emphasize it again, when you are setting up the document, because you are setting it up for interactivity, make sure you choose web, okay? By default, it will be set up for print, which is what you don't want to do. So choose web, then you have pixels as a unit of measurement, as well as the sizes in this way. So there are a few different sizes which you can use. Think about, again, the portrait. A standard is the 1024 by 768, which is the dimensions of an iPad. You can also set that up in portrait as well. Okay, and the other good thing about that is your images don't need to be high resolution for them to look good. Okay, so you can source images online in that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hide my guides, and what I'm going to do is I've got a series of images which I have created and saved, and I've cropped them all to the same size. Make it very, very handy. So when you're preparing your images in Photoshop, just crop them all to the same size, okay? It will make it much easier for the alignment and the placement. Okay, and so what I've done is I've gone File and Place. Open them up. I won't do it again because I've got them all in place. Okay, if you look in my layers, you can see that they're all selected, and it's very, very handy, and I'll just use the Align panel to have them all aligned left and aligned top. So they're all exactly lined up, all exactly the same size in the same position. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to group the image with an image caption. Okay? And so what I've been doing is, just zoom in. Okay, I've got a piece of text, and what I'll do, so this one is in relation to this image. I'll come into this one, I'll copy it, and I'll paste it exactly on top of itself. So the same type, I've got all the type as well aligned to the right-hand side. And now, just made that up. Let's just put a date on that. Okay, it's all in exactly the same place, all right? And so I'll just do this last one. So I've got my text here, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. If you like your 4 fingers, Command, Option, Shift and V to paste on top of itself. Here it is here. Oh. Change case. Okay. And so now what I have is a whole lot of text in exactly the same place. Okay. As well as these images. So what I'll do Okay, I'll just select those two and I'm grouping them together. Okay. So I might, so how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'll just call this 14. Just helps with the numbering. And I can come in here. Group. I'm doing this because I'm putting them in a specific order. So I'm not needing to put this in a specific order, but just for yourselves, if you are putting things in a sequence, if it was, say, a book and you wanted the cover, then the inside cover, then page 2, 3, you could have that order and it's just much easier to actually see. Okay, so I'll just come through, group. So all this preparation, okay? Because this preparation, this is the hard part, okay? Once this is done, the rest of it will happen really quickly. Okay? It sort of allows you to do a bit of a check just to make sure you've got the right captions, etc. Okay. Group. All right, so here they all are. And so, again, just imagine that they were all numbered. Okay, I'm just going to select those groups. Okay? And window interactive object states. And this is going to create the slideshow. Okay? So here it is here. And there they all are. Okay, and so what will happen with the object states, here's the slideshow, and you can see that the type and the image are all grouped together. Okay, so very important, name your state. So I'll just call this brand ID. It's important because if you have more object states in this, they're all going to pop up. So you don't want them to be unnamed. So give them specific names. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'm going to create a forward and a back arrow. Okay, and so all I'll do here got this, let's just zoom in. just holding my shift key down, so I've just rotated it 45 degrees, and I'll actually come in and using my scissor tool, I've just cut those. So now bring one over, okay. So I might just bring that down in size a little bit before I do it. So just a quick way of, go away. Okay, and so I'll just select those, and with my align, I'll align them halfway, and I'll just get these set up. Okay, so it's just a matter of getting these lined up, etc. There we go. Okay, so what we'll now do is we're going to make these into buttons. Okay, so select this. So we started making buttons last week. So it's a button, and it's going to go to the previous state. Okay, here's the object states, the brand ID. This one here. Go to the next state. Okay. I can have it stop at the last state if we like. If I want to make it to have a rollover, then what I can do is, well, let's just change colour. So let's just say we've got it blue. Go to rollover, it'll turn black. Okay. Do the same with this one. Rollover. Normal. Okay. So that's now done. Okay, and so what will happen with the testing, I won't worry about testing it right this second, but when these go through with that object state that I've created, you can see why it's worth naming them. It'll go through with those states. Okay, so very straightforward. And as I said, the setup at the beginning makes it happen much quicker. And just one more thing, what I'll do here is just show you how to bring in an MP4, a video, so something that you might have shot in, created in Photoshop, just a slideshow, a sampler. MP4s. Okay, so here's a little sampler I made, which is just a slideshow. Okay, that just there's a few things there. Okay, get that all lined up. Now, with the MP4, just remember that the Acrobat will not play video, okay? It doesn't support Flash Player anymore. So this is why we are publishing online this time up here, okay? So just in terms of putting things together, as I said, last week we spoke of the buttons and the interactivity to the various pages, and now what we can do is we're able to just have images into a singular space. Okay? Save that. And away we go.